In this video, I want to talk about general revelation. So we first of all get a sense of what general revelation is in a well-known passage, Psalm 19. The heavens declare the glory of God, the skies proclaim the work of his hands. Day after day they pour forth speech, night after night they reveal knowledge. They have no speech, they use no words, no sound is heard from them, yet their voice goes out into all the earth, their words to the ends of the world. The image here is that creation speaks to us. When we, as human beings, are functioning properly and in tune, listening to creation and what it has to say to us, creation speaks to us something of the nature of the creator. In fact, there's a principle within philosophy that you can know something of the cause by looking at the effect. You look at the effect and you can reason back to the nature of the cause. And one way to interpret, to read Psalm 19 is it says, if you look at the effect, if you look at nature, the design, the beauty, the aesthetic perfection, the complexity, you can naturally just form beliefs about the cause that brought about that effect. Something similar is in Romans 1:20, Paul says, for his, that is God's invisible attributes, namely his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly perceived ever since the creation of the world, in the things that have been made, so that they, that is all human beings, are without excuse. So when we are functioning properly and we are in tune with creation, we naturally read something of God's existence and his nature and attributes out of creation, just naturally perceiving the causal force, the design, the purpose, the mind behind creation. And that is general revelation. It's a revelation which is generally available to all people, and it contrasts to special revelation. Now, within the Christian tradition, special revelation can be thought of as three parts. First of all, God's actions in history. So his revelation through, events such as the Exodus, for example. And then God's action or his revelation through the words of Scripture. And then ultimately culminating in the highest form of special revelation, which is God's revelation through his word, Jesus Christ. In the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God, John 1:1, and then John 1:14, the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and that is the culmination of the special revelation of God. But general revelation is a sort of forecourt for the special revelation of God. It's a point of contact for us to be able to then build toward the understanding of the special revelation of God as we perceive that there is a creator, that there is a mind behind it all, that there is moral goodness in the world, that there is a designer, there is a sustaining cause, all these different sorts of things. These are all ways of grappling with general revelation. That should then point us toward special revelation. So that's something of the value and the import of special revelation. There's also limits to of general revelation. That's what it's pointing us towards, but there are also limits to it. So Jane Goodall was, of course, famous for working with chimpanzees for something like 50 years. And she was asked about whether she believes in God. And this is what she said. I don't have any idea of who or what God is, but I do believe in some great spiritual power. I don't know what to call it. I feel it particularly when I'm out in nature. It's just something that's bigger and stronger than what I am or what anybody is. I feel it, and that's enough for me. This is the danger of general revelation, the idea that it becomes, quote unquote, enough for us, that it doesn't actually push us on to special revelation, become that contact to something greater. And if I were to use an analogy here, special or general revelation should be thought of as like hors d'oeuvres, appetizers at, let's say, at a dinner. When you arrive at the dinner, you're supposed to come hungry, and then you can begin to take some appetizers, and you take that cracker with cream cheese and smoked salmon, and you really like that, that's good. What that should be doing is getting your taste buds ready for the main meal, getting you to look forward toward the dining room and wanting to go into the dining room and see what that main meal is like. And if somebody says, you know what, I really like those crackers with the smoked salmon and the cream cheese, and they stay within the lounge area and they just continue to eat those the whole night and stay with the appetizers, and they say, that's enough for me, then they would have missed the point of the appetizers, which was to prepare you for the main meal. That's the danger of general revelation, When it is functioning properly, it should get us moving toward and seeking out special revelation. When it does not work properly, then we may delude ourselves into thinking that general revelation is enough.